Next is local inner class. Let us have a quick look on this one. This is a simple example. I have a class outer and that class is from here to here. And what this class is having? There is only one thing inside this class, that is one method, that is void display. Now inside this method, I have a inner class. This is the inner class. So we can define a class inside a method also. That class will be only visible and useful inside the method, right? So let us see its working first. I have an inner class and it is having only one method, that is inner display, and it will display hello. This is a display method and it will display hello. That's it. So inside this method, after defining the class, I have created an object of inner class. Object is created, then I am calling its method. I is an object, right? I dot inner display. So this method will be called. Now outside this method, this class is not visible. So it's local to the method. So you can define the classes like this also. What is the use? Why do you need a class inside the method? Usually it is useful when you want to write a class that is inheriting from some existing class, or you want to write a class which is implementing an interface. So this we will see when we will look at the packages and the built-in classes of Java. That time I can show you this one. There it is used more frequently. So right now this is sufficient that if you want any class to inherit from some existing class or implement an interface, and that class is useful only inside this method, not outside this one, only inside this method, then you can define a local inner class. So that's all about this one. Now next, let us look at another type of class, that is anonymous inner class. Next is anonymous inner class. Anonymous inner class can be defined at the time of creation of object itself. You can define the class as well as create an object. Usually these are useful for interfaces and abstract classes. So already I have an example of an abstract class. I'll explain how an anonymous class is written. So let us see the example. I have an abstract class here, abstract class, and the class name is my, and it is having abstract method void display. So this method is abstract method and it's having only one method. So I cannot create the object of that class. Yes, but I can have a reference of that class. Yes, I can have. Now let us separate this and look at this class now. Class outer. So this is the outer class. So I'll mark it from here. So this is the outer class. Now inside this there is a method. This is a method of the class. Yes. So if I want, I can create an object of this outer class and I can call this method inside a main method. Now let us study this. I am having a reference of my. Can I have a reference of my? Yes, I can have a reference. But new my, can I create the object? No, I cannot create the object because it's an abstract class. But if you watch here, from this bracket to this bracket, if you see, I am defining the class. That is from here to here, I am defining the class, and inside that I am overriding the display method. So I am creating the object of that class by overriding the method. So once I override a method, it becomes a concrete class. Then what is the name of that class? There is no name. It's anonymous class. I am using the same name, but actually it's an abstract class. So abstract class object cannot be created, but I have overridden the method. So compiler will create a nameless class, that is anonymous class, and its object will be created and m will be the reference, and here I am calling that method display. So this method will be called. If you want to see this clearly, I'll remove the bracket from here and I will write it here. So you can see that my m new my, there is no semicolon. Then the next is the complete class definition and the semicolon comes here. At the end of every line, as we should have a semicolon, here also we should have it, but that is coming here because in between this my and the brackets and this semicolon, complete class is defined. So I have overridden only one method. If you have multiple methods also, you can do that. Now next thing, even if it is an interface, we can do the same thing. So I'll just change that to interface, then I'll show you. Yeah, here I have defined the interface my, and it is having a method. So interfaces will have abstract method. Yes. Now for the same thing, I am creating a reference. Yes, allowed. But new my, I cannot create an object. Yes, I am not creating an object. I am defining an anonymous class here. So I am using the same interface name here as the constructor name, and inside here I am defining the class. Now this is the method called for this display. So this display will be called. So I am actually indirectly defining some anonymous class which is implementing that interface. So that's it. We can override the abstract methods of abstract classes, as well as we can implement interfaces using anonymous classes. What is the use? If you have to implement an interface and its usage is limited, you don't have to write a separate class and then create its object. Then and there in the same place you can implement the interface as an anonymous class. And this is the most common thing in Java, because Java provides a lot of built-in interfaces and classes. When we have to implement the interfaces, we can go for anonymous inner classes. So we'll be using it a lot in further topics. Now the next thing is static inner class. So I will write on the class, static inner class, and I'll explain.